All right, guys, we're answering your questions you left on the YouTube post. So you guys seem to be struggling with melody. So I'm going to show you guys my format and process for this. So firstly, we need to write chords. Let's use the BusyWorks Beats sampler, busyworksbeats.com/sampler. It comes with factory sounds for you guys. And here I'm not going to overly teach music theory. We're just going to do stuff. Let's just use a Rhodes piano. Now, the importance of chords is that it gives you structure. All right, so let's record some chords, and this will open your brain's machine on how to come up with melodies. Everybody wants to skip chords, but chords is the foundation. Like a house, you build the outer walls first and the foundation. Same thing with chords. It gives structure for your melody. So let's add this in. Let's slow this down a little bit, the tempo. Come on, tempo. Okay. So we're somewhere around 95. All right, so I changed the ending up just to be different. Okay, so now that we have the chords, basically think of the melody as using these as a mini scale. When you think of it that way, it makes it so much easier. So let's stick with this first chord. This is C minor ninth, and it's a 5-note chord. And when you limit yourself to 5 notes, your melodies become a little bit more creative, I found, because it forces you to think in terms of how to pivot around. When you're stuck with 5 notes, you have to figure out, okay, how do you add a change up over time? Okay, so let's add some more sounds in here. Now, usually the top line melody is going to be 1 octave higher than the chords. Not a rule, it's just some observation. So we're going to use the same C minor ninth chord. So let's turn this up. Now, Jeff Schneider talks about what's called the 10th. That's raising the 3rd. So we're essentially just playing E flat up an octave. Let's go up in a higher octave. So see how this bell just perfectly matches? That's because it is a chord, and that's what people don't comprehend when they're making beats. They don't understand that the melodies they're pulling from are actual chords. Okay, so let's do this again. Let's add a little bit more ambience to it. Let's add some reverb. Let's add some delay so that we don't have to play 1,001 different notes. All right, let's add some effects. Let's add that reverb. Let's add delay. Let's add a little chorus. And again, we can go to the effects tab and up the decay curvature of the reverb. And let's add a little reverse. And we could even do half speed. So sometimes effects can make a very basic melody sound a little more animated. So let's add all this stuff together and even add a little texture. We don't have to overly kill the texture thing, but sometimes adding just subtle little vibes like this. Let's do maybe like a jungle texture. And let's have this on envelope follow. So now when I play the notes, feels more like, and let's also cut out the lows. We can up the mix level here. So again, what I'm playing is I'm adding the 3rd up an octave and I'm playing the C minor ninth chord. So it sounds like I'm doing a lot, but I'm really just playing the same exact chord. Now I'm using the same notes, just different parts of the chord. And that one, I forgot we changed the chord type, so I'm going to go back and change that last note. So it should be dun dun. But my point here, guys, is that we're playing a chord. It just sounds melodic because I'm playing it rhythmically. So this is the C minor 9th chord with the raised 3rd up top. It's the same chord, y'all. When you understand melodies this way, you stop thinking that it's some separate thing. All right, so let's quantize these notes a little bit. Let's remove overlaps. Now, the easiest way for the ear to hear sometimes is simply just raising that melody up an octave. I think we're in a decent octave for this. Alright, now all we need is just a bass to sit underneath this track. But see how it fits without overly being like this drawn in lead that everybody wants to create. Now let's go to factory sounds. Now we don't have any bass in the factory tones unless you synthesize them. Now in the presets, I have a couple presets in the factory area for you guys. We didn't build out any bass, so we're going to use what's called the Hercules library here. This is in the paid version at busyworksbeats.com/sampler. We're going to use some of the bass. Hercules is known for the bass, so let's try some of these. Let's turn this up. Let's see what other sounds we can get. Now let's add a little bit of a saturation here under the drive. Make that bass jump out. So for lower basses, I would recommend you guys try that saturation technique. Let's lock these effects so that, go to FX lock, turn that on. And now let's load up different bass sounds. So we don't need a bass to overtake this track, we just need to have it there. Now literally I'm just going up the C minor scale, only using 4 notes. So it doesn't need to be super complicated. We're basically going off that first chord, the same chord. These a little bit. So again, this part is just up to you guys' creativity. There's really no need to overkill this type of melody. We really already were done by the top line there. Now that's how you guys can think about melody creation. Think of it in terms of components. So the first component here is the harmony. That gives the glue to the track. From the harmony, you derive the top line. This is the memorable melody. From here, you usually add the contrast layer. And then from here, you add the rhythm. We didn't add the rhythm because that would get into beat making. But when you're stuck on melodies, when you start with harmony, it solves so many problems that you guys have. When you're starting on a blank canvas trying to figure out what note to go to next, you have no structure of deciding which note to go to next. So your brain just doesn't know where to go. When you give yourself chords, your brain says, okay, I'm going to stick with only these 5 notes. And then you can work from that point instead of saying, okay, I'm going to start at C and there's infinite options. I could go to G. I can go to octave here. I could just do a chord. Let's do an add. I could do minor add 9 chord. There's a billion things I could do. And that's the problem, is that because there's a billion things people can do, they don't know where to go. So that's why chords are important. They give you context of your melody. All right, y'all, we're going to be up out of here. If you guys want to learn music theory, go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. I teach you guys about melodies, chord progressions, scales, modes, mainly how to break outside of this restrictive box so that you're not stuck in a creative box. All right, y'all, go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. Peace.